this one is putting my dog Max, who's now passed, in the same what do you say, level with all the major gurus of the major religions.
Nice.
And I'm also saying, if you look in the two little mirrors here, you'll see yourself, and you belong among them too, because we're all equal.
Very nice.
That's the message of the Aquarian age.
Yeah.
I still look in there.
What about this one? The beach access.
Yeah, humans must be on a leash, so I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just there's so many animals that are so much safer than humans.
Right.
We have to obviously protect the ones that have been programmed as to be bad guys, but there's 80% of them should be running the beach. They shouldn't be on leashes. We don't put ourselves on leashes. And this is just my opinion of the way I see things, that inside we're like a Buddha head, each of us, and outside we're practicing unconditional love as taught. The main purpose of the Bible, of course, the two lines that all you have to do is read and then practice is unconditional love. This is turned upside down.
I like this.
This is called the ascension of consciousness, and time has nothing to do with it, or calendars. And there's a little interesting thing, but most people won't notice that, but I went from acrylic to soy paint in this painting.
Oh, nice.
But, I found out soy paint still uses oil, so I didn't accomplish any natural things.
Yeah.
Why behind you?
Yeah.
This one.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. This one, I did, these are all done paper, using Japanese paper on acrylic. And this is my concept of the Vietnam War.
What about the ladder? How did you make the ladder?
Oh, with rice paper and glue and paste. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, I have a whole thing. All the pieces make one big dragon.
Yeah.
But there's no way to hang it
Really?
here.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's right. I thought.
That would hang in the inside, though,
Yeah.
of a gallery. Okay, here, this one is just Earth's birth of Mother Earth's birth of the yin yang.
We didn't see the hotel over there.
That's the second. There's an early one at the front that we already covered.
Oh,
This one is.
Let me.
This is an example. This, in my book, I talk about government over control, and you can see, if we don't stop this over safety, like it's could look like this, and I'm just saying this to all the governments. I don't want a safe death. And then the other side of it swings over this way, and that's Jesus being taken to prison and returning and being put in prison. And I have a poem in my book, The Humorist, that talks about that.
Tough to be homeless.
Yeah. And
Here's another.
this is to shock people into one of the biggest problems in the world, because 8 million children die every year from starvation. And this is when I did a fast for a couple of days just to get a little bit irritated.
Hungry.
Yeah, when I did that one. This is all paper, again, see, on cardboard. Japanese style. It's Japanese art style.
And tell me what you said about the children.
The children?
Yes. How many children?
Oh, 8 million.
8 million children starve every year.
Yeah. From starvation or hunger. And this is like called human values. Like the Samoas, they deliberately get fat while all these people are dying. And obesity, we know, is huge in the world right now. And then that's, there's many have been crucified on the cross, for sacrificing their lives for ignorance and our not paying attention to them because of our separate little natures, nations and cultures. If we had one global world, we would have to take this issue up because it's our responsibility as humans.
And what about what's inside the cage?
That would have to come through here for that. Yeah, and this is another one saying food is flourishing on the other side of the fence. Again, nationalism or whatever is stopping it from being helped. We can walk through here.
Okay. Moving pictures, moving audience. Portable lunch.
We're getting there, but I think we're going to
Portable poets.
So this is a radio. Tell me when to go.
Lawrence
Okay.
would like this
Yeah.
very much.
This is taking all the really ugly things in the world, like, you know, George Washington was not a role model, really. He was a white supremacist, and he had Indian genocide on his agenda. You know, we don't need role models. You know, become your own role model. You know what your higher self or your best self looks like. Be that, and then don't try to like idolize a human that will let you down every time. And of course, you know, Hitler's not the only insane man that led nations, but he is a symbol of World War II, which was the loss of 80 million people, the biggest war in the history of the world. And then the KKK, of course, interestingly, I'd have their initials saying Kennedy, King, Kennedy. I don't think they actually killed them, assassinated them, but I think it was a paid contract by the syndicate. But they certainly would have celebrated when those three dudes died. And of course, that's the history of war. We've had something like 200,000 wars since recorded history. And then the one right there where Christmas is, I'm sorry, mystery is, can you back up so you can
I'm
see
going to
it?
try to go over there.
Okay.
So that,
That's the showing human trafficking in the world from a child's perspective. So you've got 3,000 kids in the military. You've got homeless that are getting transferred because of national conflicts, and these kids are prey to trafficking. You've got forced labor on the right bottom there. The woman is standing halfway up to her husband or spouse or whatever, because in certain Arab countries she has no rights. She has only half the rights of a male. And then there's most of the children are often used for sexual exploitation, and there's many are killed for their body parts in the business of organ transfer. And of course, you see the person getting married. These are forced marriages. And then that about covers it. They never have a childhood. And in India, 60,000 children every year disappear. And you know they're either mutilated or killed for profit. We got to change that. And then, of course, this is the insanity of the weapons that the war machine manufactures.
Yeah.
I like the bigot bomb, Theodore Roosevelt.
I noticed the bombs. I like the bombs.
Yeah, and the peace bomb is pink, and the garlic bomb, see, it leaves clean corpses. And then you got the longest bomb in the world, like, that's just ridiculous. Which,
That's from your Parade of War, isn't it, Joe?
what's that?
The bombs from your Parade of War, Joe?
Yes.
Okay.
This is World War II, and this is when Japan armies invaded Nanjing of China. In 6 weeks, 200,000 men, women, and children were slaughtered. The women were raped before they were slaughtered. And you know, they cut off their heads, they killed them. And then this is a rumor, but I heard it from the sources, some sources, that they boiled the dead bodies. That's what that is up there on the top. To feed the Australian, American, and British prisoners of war.
wow.
Then the next one is, this is the Opium Wars. in the late 1800s or the 1800s when China was being supplied by the East Indian Company tons and tons of opium, and the people and the whole nation were getting addicted. And the emperor sent a letter to Queen Victoria saying, "Why do you allow opium to come into our country when you banned it in your own?" This is Princess Diana, her only visit to Hawaii. It's called the backside of Diamond Head. This is a time when her divorce was going down, and she was kind of being protected, couldn't even see the rest of Hawaii, couldn't see Waikiki.
Her what was going down?
Her divorce. Her divorce was going down. Yeah, they were not getting along. They were on their way to U.S. Charles went surfing, of course, got out, but she didn't. And so it shows her mood at that time. And then this is the. This got to be this way. This is the Korean War. Like all these nations, these are the only nations that were fighting all these other nations, and they're the China, Russia, and Korea, North Korea. So it was a bloody war, and it was really about people associate. The governments like to think that democracy and capitalism go hand in hand. That's not true. And so this is an example of the U.S. paid countries because they're allies, and many were slaughtered. Big question is, why wasn't Korean given back to the Koreans when World War II was over?
And the Middle East given back to the Arabs when World War II was over.
Exactly.
And Cyprus.
Yep. On and on.
And
Yeah.
Guam.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Over there, that shows that by somewhere in the 1860s or something, 1850s or something, half the women in China had their feet bound in the babyhood, so they come out distorted.
mutilated.
Yeah, it was a rich people's the rich people that brought it in, and it made everyone want to do the same. But it was okay for them because they didn't have to work. But it wasn't okay for the mass Chinese women because they could not run away then from their husbands if they wanted to. They couldn't run away.
They could not run. They could
They were
barely walk.
prisoners. Yep.
Every step. They said there was a lake of tears for every size that you squeezed your foot into. Wow, what else did we have there? Oh, here we go.
Okay. This is the. I got to turn this up different too.
I wondered about that.
This is.
Which ways to go?
This is the